And the government of Israel continues to deepen its agricultural cooperation with the Kenyan government to ensure that the country is food secure during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Agribusiness is the sleeping giant that could transform Kenyan rural economy and create jobs for the youths in the agricultural service industries. And Jerusalem has been facilitating trips for agriculture students to go to Israel and gain skills and knowledge in an 11-month program, which has in turn changed their perception about agribusiness. KTN News' Mwangi Maina spoke with the Israeli ambassador to Kenya, Joseph Oded, on the diplomatic ties and agricultural cooperation between the two states. Listen in.
Shalom, Ambassador. And to kickstart this conversation, let's start first by, reviewing the relationship between Nairobi and Jerusalem. And in a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that relationship?
I would not say 10 because I always want to leave room for improvement. So we always want to make sure that we are taking our relations every time another step forward. So I would say almost 10 because we always want to reach the 10 and above.
Balozi, at the heart of that good relationship lies, very major or key partnerships when it comes to social and economical development. Can you give us an overview of those major partnerships between the two states?
I'm always proud to say that Israel and Kenya enjoy very cordial relations, even before the independence of Kenya. Our engagement began before the independence, and since then we are just building our relations and enhancing them in many, many fields. You have mentioned few. Naturally, agriculture is one of the main ones, is at the heart of our relations. Development projects that we're working on together. Food security has been a very important component within our agriculture cooperation. And today, we are actually now discussing with the government of Kenya a proposal that we have put forward to base on our experiences from the past on the issue of food security to create 3 centers of excellence in agriculture that would actually be a game changer, I believe, in the field of food security here in Kenya, based on our past experiences with the Galana Kulalu projects and other projects. So this is definitely one of the more important aspects of our relations. You have mentioned health. Naturally, under COVID-19, we have enhanced our relations and our cooperation in the field of health. This has to do with medical cooperation and direct cooperation between hospitals in Israel and in Kenya, in research, and anything that has to do with meeting the challenge of COVID-19. Education definitely is another important field. We have developed a unique concept with the Ministry of Education here in Kenya, discussing what we call the Education for Sustainable Development. We have opened last year a full trade office here at the embassy because we believe that we could do much more in terms of our trade relations and to enhance and increase the volume of trade between our two countries. So the sky is really the limit, and I think we are working on it very hard with the local partners, and we would like to see this relations flourishing in many fields as possible.
Interesting, Ambassador, and you've mentioned about the Galana Kulalu, farming project. Let me throw this to you. Is Israel satisfied on how Galana Kulalu project, was handled by the Kenyan government? Of course, we know the hits and the misses. And do you also think from where you sit that that project has been able to impact the Kenyan community?
I've been very open on this issue in the past, and I'll definitely be open again now. And I would say Galana Kulalu on the merits of it. One who looks at the professional achievements of what this project has done, this has been a success. It has showed that with the right Israeli technologies and expertise and with the right local experts, you could truly increase the volume of the crops that are being grown in very hard places in Kenya, in places that suffer like Israel with scarcity of water and environmental conditions that are very, very difficult to grow. We did have some other issues that we had to learn the lessons from, and I think some of the dynamics on the ground and the way things were run, we could improve on them. But my bottom line is Galana Kulalu was a model farm, and based on the Galana Kulalu, the positive things that happened and the ones that we have to learn more how to improve on, the bottom line is that we could translate what was the experience from Galana Kulalu to a national scale cooperation on food security. And this is exactly what is now being discussed with the relevant partners here in Kenya. We have put down a very specific proposal that is based on 3 agri centers, agri parks, that if we will, once we accomplish them, I'm absolutely sure this could be a game changer in terms of the issue of food security and technological innovation in the field of agriculture for the sector of agriculture here in Kenya.
Balozi, having come from a nation that deals with technology to run the farms, do you think or do you see Kenya, becoming food sufficient when we deal with the issue to do with food security?
Absolutely. I think it would be even more than food sufficient. I think Kenya could become an exporter of food and vegetables and fruits. I look at the talented youth that Kenya enjoys and has. I can see those who are arriving in Israel for this 11-month program that takes place in Israel, where they're exposed with their own hands to Israeli technologies. These youngsters are probably the best human resource to develop the agriculture sector here in Kenya. I look at the hubs, at the technological hubs that Kenya has. I look at the environment that is being created here in Kenya. I have no doubts in my mind that getting the right partners together and getting the support of the government, there's no doubt that, as I said earlier, Kenya not only would be self-sufficient in terms of food security, but it will also become an hub and an exporter of food and agricultural products. Again, we are very much involved in many projects in Kenya and in East Africa in the agriculture sector. And as we have mentioned earlier, I think it goes beyond the immediate necessity to make sure that people are not suffering from famine and that people are food secured. You have mentioned the project in Moranga, which was again another great cooperation with the community of Moranga to access to farms utilizing Israeli seedlings and Israeli-based technology seedlings and Israeli technologies. We are now very much involved in developing another center of excellence in the Embu County. And I think all of these projects are meant to, one, make sure that food is secured here in Kenya. But as I have mentioned earlier, we could take it to the next level by becoming a very successful agricultural sector that gives and allows youth in Kenya to be involved and employed in the sector. And this will definitely could be one of the more profitable and more successful sectors in this country.